I think white women are as great as any other women. But I'm not gonna act like I'm not scared of them. I have a reason to be scared.
I just wanna know, why is there so much race play going on? Why is this lady, her name is Gabriella, talking about, yeah, I want you to put a big black baby in me? Is that what people that date outside their race do? Is that what y'all do?
When Katt Williams tried to warn Shannon Sharpe on national TV, nobody knew just how real that warning would be. During an interview on Club Shay Shay, Katt Williams sat across from Shannon Sharpe and dropped a powerful truth. He warned that dating white women could destroy a man's life in just 2 weekends.
You could be Kang the Conqueror, and they could take your rabbit ass down in 2 weekends. And that's the truth of the matter, so I stayed away from that.
Katt wasn't being random. He was speaking from real experience and real fear. At the time, Shannon and the audience laughed it off like it was just another joke. But now, looking back, that moment feels like a warning shot that Shannon completely ignored. Katt wasn't trying to be funny. He was trying to save Shannon from a disaster he didn't even see coming. And today, that old clip is going viral again because everything Katt warned about is happening right before our eyes. Fans are realizing Katt's warning wasn't just true. It was a prediction that Shannon should have taken seriously. But that was just the beginning. The real trouble for Shannon was already unfolding behind the scenes. While the world laughed at Katt's warning, Shannon Sharpe was already walking straight into a storm. It turns out that when Shannon filmed that interview with Katt Williams, he was already involved with a much younger woman, a 19-year-old OnlyFans model named Gabriella Zuniga. Shannon was 54 years old at the time, making the age gap between them over 3 decades. That's not just a small difference, it's an entire generation. People were quick to point out how bad it looked, especially for someone who spent years trying to build a respected public image. Now Gabriella is suing Shannon for $50 million, claiming he assaulted her, filmed her without her permission, mistreated her emotionally, and even made threats against her life. What's even worse, the lawsuit says Shannon's behavior wasn't just wrong, it was dangerous and disturbing. This wasn't just a bad relationship, it's a full-blown scandal that's putting his entire career at risk. But the shocking part wasn't just their ages, it's what Shannon was allegedly asking her to do. As people dug deeper, even more disturbing details started to come out. The lawsuit revealed that Shannon was into something called race play, where he asked Gabriella to say shocking and uncomfortable things during their private time. In released text messages, Gabriella talks about wanting Shannon to put a big black baby in her, words that many believe didn't come from her, but were pushed by Shannon himself.
It's becoming more and more clear, to me, in my opinion, that he has a race fetish. He has a fetish for that type of dynamic. Think about it. This was a 19-year-old white woman when he met her. I don't know any 19-year-old white woman that's running around hollering about a big black baby and baby gravy. Shannon was a 54-year-old big black grown-ass man from the backwoods of Georgia. Gravy sound like some shit he's familiar with. Big black babies, he probably seen a few in his day. Born in the backwoods of Georgia where he grew up with his grandma and all them other folks. But I just don't think that came from her. Now, is she repeating it back in those text messages? Yes, that's why he released her messages, not his. Peep that, okay? We haven't seen what his responses was, and I guarantee you, when they post those messages, y'all gonna see. All of that race shit started with him. It's a fetish, and he could only play that kind of stuff out with a young girl. That's why she repeating it back to him, because he said it to her first. Older men, that's why they tend to want to be with younger women. They're more impressionable. They can mold them. They can shape them to be what they want them to be. Do what they want them to do. You let him come to a 40 or 50-year-old woman talking about put a big black baby and baby gravy. We gonna be looking like, what's wrong with you? Yeah, that started with him. Mark my words, it's gonna come out. But that race stuff started with him.
People online were disgusted, not just by the huge age gap, but by how twisted and degrading the role-playing sounded. Many fans felt that Shannon used his age, fame, and money to pressure a much younger woman into crossing serious lines she might not have agreed to otherwise. What once seemed like just a bad choice started to look like a deeper pattern of disrespect and manipulation. It made a lot of fans lose all respect for him overnight, and just when it seemed like it couldn't get worse, a secret recording hit the internet. The leaked audio took the controversy to a whole new level. Gabriella's lawyer released a recording where Shannon can be heard threatening to choke her. In the clip, Shannon jokes about being a big black guy, choking a small white woman, and even though it sounds like part of their race-based roleplay, it still made him look terrible to the public. No matter how it started, fans pointed out that Shannon's words were reckless, dangerous, and completely inappropriate, especially for a man his age and status. The recording made it seem like Shannon wasn't just caught in a bad situation, he had completely lost control of his actions. Even if Gabriella baited him or played along at times, Shannon still crossed a line. He didn't protect himself, and now the entire world was listening and judging every move he made. But Shannon wasn't ready to take the blame. Instead, he pointed fingers at someone else. Instead of owning up to his actions, Shannon tried to flip the script. After the audio leaked, Shannon finally spoke out, but instead of taking responsibility, he blamed the lawyer, Tony Busby. Shannon claimed Busby had a history of targeting successful black men and that the whole lawsuit was just a setup to tear him down. He warned fans that short clips would be released and edited to make him look guilty, but people weren't buying it. Many pointed out that Shannon's problems didn't start with the lawyer. They started with his own bad choices. Choosing to mess with a teenager, getting involved in race play, and being reckless with his words made him an easy target. His defense didn't make him look strong. It made him look even more guilty and desperate in the eyes of the public. And the sad part is, Shannon had been warned more than once before this all exploded. Before everything fell apart, Shannon had people in his corner trying to guide him. Not only did Katt Williams warn Shannon about the dangers of dating young white women, but comedian Monique also tried to give him advice. When she appeared on Club Shay Shay, she didn't sugarcoat anything. She told Shannon straight up that he didn't need to be chasing 20-something-year-olds. She urged him to find a woman closer to his own age, someone who could truly love him for who he is, not for his fame or money. But instead of taking their wisdom seriously, Shannon just laughed it off and kept living recklessly. Now, looking back, it's clear he chose pride over good judgment. If he had listened, he might have avoided the scandal that is now threatening to destroy everything he worked so hard to build. But ignoring good advice wasn't the only mistake Shannon made. There was still more damage to come. The more people learned, the more disturbing the story became. It wasn't just the age gap or the leaked audio that had everyone talking. New information showed that Gabriella was only 16 years old during the COVID pandemic, just a short time before she met Shannon. That fact made the entire situation feel even worse to the public. Even if their relationship was technically legal when it started, the timing raised serious red flags. People couldn't ignore how young she really was compared to Shannon's age and life experience. The huge gap in maturity, power, and control made it clear this wasn't just a bad decision. It was a serious lapse in judgment. Fans started realizing Shannon didn't just slip up once. His choices showed a pattern of poor thinking and risky behavior that pointed to deeper personal problems he refused to fix. And soon, even Shannon's years of hard work and success couldn't protect him from the fallout. Everything Shannon built over decades was starting to fall apart. Shannon spent years creating a respected image. Former NFL star, TV host, and role model for young athletes. He was seen as a strong voice for hard work, success, and discipline. But now, all of that is hanging by a thread. Fans who once looked up to him are turning their backs fast. Sponsors and companies that once celebrated him are now stepping back, waiting to see how bad the damage gets. Whether the court finds him guilty or not, many people feel like the damage to his name is already permanent. They say no man his age should have been chasing young girls or getting caught up in reckless scandals. Trust is easy to lose and almost impossible to win back. And for Shannon, that trust is slipping away by the minute. But the internet wasn't finished with Shannon yet. The backlash was just heating up. Social media exploded with people calling Shannon out. Fans made it clear he wasn't a victim. He was a grown man who made reckless, selfish choices. Some even called him a shepherd of losers for ignoring advice from people who genuinely tried to help him. Others pointed out the hypocrisy. Shannon spent years joking about black women, but now he wanted sympathy after choosing a risky and messy path. Many said it wasn't bad luck or a setup. It was pride and arrogance that brought him down. It showed how chasing clout and living wild can destroy a lifetime of hard work. Once fans turn on you, it's almost impossible to win them back, and Shannon was learning that lesson the hard way. And finally, the last nail in the coffin. Shannon's own words came back to haunt him. The final blow came when old clips showed Shannon being warned and laughing it off. When fans rewatched Shannon's interviews with Katt Williams and Monique, everything became painfully clear. Shannon had every chance to avoid this disaster. Katt Williams warned him about how quickly a situation with a white woman could spiral out of control. Monique told him straight up to stop chasing young women and find someone real. They weren't joking. They were trying to save him. But instead of listening, Shannon brushed it off, laughed, and kept doing whatever he wanted. Now, the same laughter he showed is gone, replaced with embarrassment and regret. His downfall wasn't because of some grand conspiracy. It was the result of bad choices, pride, and ignoring the people who truly tried to help him. In the end, Shannon's story became a hard lesson about what happens when you think you're too smart to fail, and you end up losing everything. That's all for today. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button, drop a comment, and don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into celebrities' history and the real stories behind the headlines.